Hello everyone, it's Yogesh here, and in this video I'll be walking you through a capstone project from Duke University's course, Machine Learning Foundations for Product Managers, available through Coursera. This problem revolves around the combined cycle power plant. Understanding how these plants generate energy is really interesting. They use a combination of gas turbines and then heat produced through it with steam turbines to generate power. So you can imagine there will be many factors which has to be monitored to efficiently run this type of power plant and generate the energy output. So let's go step by step to understand how we can predict the electrical energy output of a combined cycle power plant. Further, we are also provided with historical data as a spreadsheet carrying around 9500 plus readings. Each record covers five different variables, that is ambient temperature, ambient pressure, relative humidity, exhaust vacuum, and the net hourly electrical energy output, which is the target we want to predict based on the historical data. Now, this appears an apt problem for machine learning because machine learning enables to use data from the past to predict future outcomes. This is clearly a regression problem as a regression aims to establish a relationship between the target variable and the other predictors, also known as features. Now, for setting up the solution, I'll be using Google AutoML on Vertex AI, which is a unified artificial intelligence platform that helps to build a code-free model based on the training data. We also need to assess how well a model fits a data set. For this purpose, I have chosen to focus on two metrics, the root mean square error and the R square. The root mean square error tells us the typical distance between the predicted value made by the regression model and the actual value. Also, RMSA is more sensitive to the outliers. The other parameter R square tells us how much of the variation in the target variable can be explained by the set of features used in training the model. So this metric ranges between 0 and 1. A higher value indicates a higher quality model. Now let's look at the next steps, that is the workflow to solve the problem systematically. Starting with the first step of exploratory data analysis, we'll be creating a data set and understanding our data better. Moving to the next step, we will build the model. We will create different regression models using the regression algorithm. Model evaluation, we will be comparing the performance of different models. And finally, we will be concluding with best performing model. So to start with AutoML platform, first I created the project by creating an account on Google Cloud. Now while creating the AutoML project, the system also asked for the model type, which I have chosen as regression. As a first step in AutoML, I have uploaded the data sheet to create a dataset on the cloud. Once the data is loaded, the system generates some statistics. You can see in the second snapshot that all the 9500 plus data rows are uploaded successfully. The data type is auto identified as numeric and data appears clean with no missing and null values under all the five columns. Now, once the data set is imported and we validate the data and data types, the AutoML takes us to the next step of training the model. I selected the energy output as target column from the dropdown, and then the system has also allowed us to define the training set. By default, AutoML has selected 80% of data rows for training, 10% for testing, and 10% for validation. Now, when I clicked on train model button, it took some time to train the model. Now, as we have a better feel of our data set by this stage, we also need to determine which features will help us predicting the output or better. The correlation statistic generated post selection of PE as target variable shows the positive correlation of energy output with temperature and vacuum. So moving further to try different combination of features, I have trained three different models. Once I completed training all the three models with required set of features, a summary on the performance of models is generated. Now this is a very important step where we see how well a model fits a dataset. I have chosen to focus on two metrics, the RMSE and R square, which will help everyone to compare and understand the performance of the models. We can see from the system outcome that model 2 has higher R square value. That explains 95% of the variation in target variable as compared to 93% of model 3. Also, the RMSE deviation of Model 2 is standing around 3.75, which is lower than that of the Model 3. Here we will go ahead with Model 2, which is predicting optimally based on all the four features. Now, post evaluation, I have further gone ahead to deploy and test Model 2 to test the outcome and predict on some new input values. I provided some existing features data to check the performance of system around predicted and actual values. Now you can see the results in the table, which shows that the model has predicted closely on the actual results within a confidence of 95%. Now let's quickly summarize. So we chose a regression algorithm to predict the energy output based on the historical values around four other features. Then with AutoML regression algorithm, we spin off three models by choosing different number of features and trained them with the training set data. Once we receive the output on performance, we evaluate model on two metrics, R-square and RMSE. Now interpreting the results, based on correlation statistic outcome, we found a linear relationship between target variable, which is energy output, and the ambience temperature. Test data results are closely predicted by Model 2 by providing all the four parameters. Here with this summary, I conclude the walkthrough and our learning objective of applying machine learning and understanding the workflow by solving a predicting problem. I hope it was insightful to understand how we can approach and solve the ML problems. Thank you.